Cleveland City Council regular meeting, 5:30 p.m. Monday, January 26, 2026, City Hall Council Chambers. If I could have ready stand, rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We do have a couple of additions to the agenda, F4 and F5. F4 is adoption of policy regarding the rights and duties of city officials and employees related to federal immigration law enforcement. F5 is accept proposal for geotechnical services for ice rink project.
Move to make changes to the agenda and close the agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Make a motion to open public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing presentation.
Okay. I have two cases to present on behalf of the engineering department. The first one is to present the reconstruction intended for Tower Street and 10th Avenue. And we'll start my presentation. Great. Okay. So a quick project overview. The scope is just the reconstruction of 10th Avenue from Park Avenue Bridge to Tower Street and Tower Street from 10th Avenue to Ferry. The purpose is comprehensive evaluation of infrastructure needs, establishment of modern design standards, and determination of project feasibility. Authority is council-initiated improvement project conducted under state statutes for special assessments. Why is this project important? Now, the pavement addition. Initially, 10th Avenue was last reconstructed in 1997, while Tower Street segments dates from 1992 to 2009. All have exceeded their functional service life. Structural failures. Both corridors exhibit significant cracking and rutting and settlements related to drainage problems affecting safety and drivability. Storm sewer decline. Existing clay pipes from mid-1900s are structurally compromised and no longer meet current performance standards. ADA compliance. The east side sidewalks on Tower Street fail to meet current accessibility requirements under the American with Disability Act. Comprehensive infrastructure improvements, road design standards, full reconstruction utilizing 10-ton bituminous pavement design to accommodate residential and emergency vehicle traffic, advanced technical specifications, installation of drainable base edge drain tile system and geotextile reinforcement fabric for enhanced durability and drainage, storm sewer replacements, complete replacements with new systems 10-inch diameter on 10th Avenue and 12-inch diameter on Tower Street to handle stormwater capacity, and pedestrian safety upgrades, installation of new concrete B618 curb and gutter throughout, and ADA compliant sidewalks on Tower Street for improved accessibility. The image is not very clear, but we'll be doing both bituminous and construction surfacing. We've increased the depth of the bituminous pavements. It seems like in the past they might have had drainage problems in that area because the DSB is quite thick. I mean, it is also close to the lake, so they would want drainage to be good. So we've kept that depth. We'll just be replacing it with new DSB, but we've increased the thickness of the bituminous in that area. Softball complex integration strategy, right-of-way vacation. Tower Street segment from Clary Street to 11th Avenue will be officially vacated from public right-of-way status. The vacated street segments will be transformed into parking facility for the new softball complex at the former elementary school site, and coordinating parking lot construction with street reconstruction presents the most cost-effective approach and minimizes future disruption to completed roadways. Over here we have a cost breakdown for each section of the project. So 10th Avenue is just about $400,000 roughly. Tower Street, 10th Avenue will be the section from the bridge on Park Avenue to Tower Street, and then Tower Street from 10th Avenue to 11th Avenue is just over $300,000, and the softball parking, including the section from 11th Avenue to Clary Street, and the existing parking that's already there will also be reconstructed, and that's just under $900,000. So in total, we have about $1,600,000 for the whole project, and the softball parking, which amounts to roughly $850,000, will not be accessible. Again, a breakdown of costs. 10th Avenue section again, Park Avenue to Tower Street, about $420,000. Tower Street from 10th Avenue to 11th Avenue is about $330,000, and then the parking lots is roughly $850,000. Reconstruction of the existing parking that's there, and then the section that will be allocated, I guess, the right-of-way that will be allocated to parking will also be in that price. But the parking lots will not be accessible. Again, the total is about $1.6 million. Financing structure and special assessments. A special assessment process, a portion of the street reconstruction costs will be assessed to benefited properties according to established municipal guidelines and state statutes. Cost allocation determination, the final splits between city-funded and accessible costs will be calculated following completion of detailed engineering design and specification. Property owner impact, only street reconstruction costs are accessible. The softball complex parking lots investment is fully funded by the city. Our next steps and public engagements, public inputs, the community feedback and questions addressed during today's hearing, design refinements, engineering team finalizes special specifications based on the feasibility findings, cost finalization, assessment amounts calculated, and property owners will be notified. Construction phase will be single season project execution, and the final assessment hearing about post-construction hearing to establish actual project costs and final assessment. It is important again to address that the voice matters of the public. If you do have any questions, please bring them forward so that we're putting your best interest forward.
Testimony.
So, Mike? Question on the, can you bring up that slide that showed the streets? Yeah, that one there.
Okay.
So is that how they're interconnect?
This is just removals. I don't know if you can see my.
Oh, there's a split screen.
It's actually two different segments.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a break line between the sheets. So this is 10th Avenue and then another sheet showing towers on top. They don't actually blend together like that.
Oh.
It's
not-
combining.
It's two different.
Yeah.
So the intersection to tower off of 10th is the same?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I see.
It's the economy of putting multiple diagrams on one sheet of plans.
I'm all for efficiency.
I had to do it.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that wanted to offer testimony?
Okay. Council is requested to pass a resolution in Exhibit 1, order improvements and preparation of plans for Tower Street and 10th Avenue reconstruction required by State Statute 429 to proceed with assessment projects. Staff recommends council pass the resolution.
We need to close the hearing first in order to.
Motion to close hearing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Action on the hearing.
Make a motion to order the improvements and preparation plans for Tower Street, 10th Avenue Street reconstruction.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Okay, on to the consent agenda. We've got city council, annual city council meeting minutes of January 12th, 2026. Water and Light Commission meeting minutes of January 5th, 2026. Public Arts Commission meeting minutes of December 9th, 2025. Application to conduct off-site gambling, Currytown and Country Boosters Incorporated. Application for temporary on-sale liquor license for Woodington. And bills payable.
Move to approve the consent agenda, this one with the corrected minutes of January 12th council meeting that we subsequently received.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. On to administration.
All right, first item is a second reading the proposed ordinance to vacate a segment of Tower Street within the city of Worthington. This is the time and date for the second reading of the proposed ordinance to vacate a segment of Tower Street. A complete copy of the ordinance was in the January 12th council agenda. Council action is requested to give a second reading of the proposed ordinance.
Motion to approve second reading.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Chris?
Yeah, can I reconfirm that property owners along Tower Street were all contacted regarding the closure of the street?
Yes, in addition to the two property owners adjacent to Tower Street, property owners within a 300-foot perimeter of the intersections were also notified, and staff did receive the required minimum number of approvals and sign-offs on the street vacation.
Thank you. Any additional input since
We
I
have not
last?
had any additional input since the previous meeting.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
All right, next item is council approval of Ice Arena Selection Committee's recommendation for construction manager at risk. City issued a construction manager at risk statement for qualifications for the Ice Arena project earlier in 2025. 9 submittals were received. The project selection committee comprised of representatives of the city of Worthington, Worthington Independent School District 518, and the Worthington Hockey Association reviewed, scored, and ranked the firms submitted. The selection committee interviewed the top 2 ranked firms that submitted qualifications on January 12th. The committee is forwarding their recommendation that the City Council approve directing staff to move forward with discussions with Knudsen Construction LLC and HTG Architects for initial programming, design, and project estimates. We did have a kickoff meeting with both the contractor and the architect last week, just to kind of get ourselves coordinated as to what everyone's expectations are. And just wanted to kind of get a jump on some initial discussions. So we did have a virtual meeting last week, and the selection committee has, this is the recommendation for the selection committee to authorize staff to move forward with further discussions.
Mike?
Both firms are really good firms. But, we interviewed, and I don't think we would have went wrong with either one. But Knudsen was, I think, a little bit closer to Worthington, a little bit, they just finished up two-sheet project in Mankato. So with that, I'd make a motion to approve Knudsen Construction LLC.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Did you want to include the HTG architects?
And HTD, yeah,
in the
sorry.
motion?
Yeah.
Second.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
All right, next item is the adoption of the Nobles County Hazard Mitigation Plan. FEMA Region 5 has approved the Nobles County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Upon adoption, the city will be eligible to apply for and receive future funding from the following FEMA programs: Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program Post-Fire, Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities, Flood Mitigation Assistance, Safeguarding Tomorrow Revolving Loan Fund. A copy of the plan is available upon request. It's 227 pages long, so that's why I did not include it in the packet. Council is requested to approve the resolution included as Exhibit 3 adopting the Nobles County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Yes. Amy.
Is this replacing a current plan, or
Yes.
is this, okay,
There was one that was done in 2018.
okay.
Motion to approve the hazardous mitigation plan.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
All right. On the right page here. We gotta get back to the addendum. Okay, next item is adoption of policies regarding the rights and duties of city officials and employees related to federal immigration law enforcement. Staff requested policy clarification regarding city officials and employees' rights and duties regarding federal immigration law enforcement from our city attorney regarding access to city-owned facilities and property. The attached policy addresses federal authorities may enter publicly accessible areas of city-owned property without a warrant. City employees, including law enforcement officers, are not required to assist federal agents in locating individuals absent a judicial warrant. City consents to allow federal agents access to non-public spaces. However, this policy does not prevent the city from revoking its consent and therefore require the presentation of judicial warrant for access to non-public space. The city administrator or a department head may revoke that consent if deemed necessary for public health, safety, or welfare. City employees cannot grant access to non-public data such as confidential or private data on individuals absent a judicial warrant. City officials shall not obstruct or interfere with federal immigration authorities' actions or agents, including hiding customers or employees, warn anyone of an impending investigation, assist anyone in evading a search, provide false information, destroy documents, and hide evidence. Council is requested to adopt a policy and resolution included as Exhibit 4. This stems from a conversation I had with our city attorney 2 or 3 weeks ago. We would like guidance on what our legal responsibilities were as city staff and officials regarding immigration actions. They followed up yesterday afternoon with the policy. We discussed it at a Teams meeting this morning with our attorney to finalize the policy and the resolution that will go along with it. This is really to give us, as officials and employees, very distinct guidance as to what we may or may not do in relation to any immigration enforcement activities. So council is requested to adopt the policy and resolution that's included as
Is there any particular instances or reasons?
So my office would be considered non-public space.
Okay, so you get invited into your office
Yes.
to discuss.
So that may be the simplest and clearest example. In City Hall, the only public spaces would be our reception area up front and our reception area downstairs. So, and one of my primary concerns or questions was how do we treat city-owned facilities that generally accommodate the public, such as the field house or Memorial Auditorium, what constitutes public space and what constitutes non-public space within those facilities. And so that was the crux of much of our conversation this morning. The Public Works Garage is not public space. But that doesn't mean that we may not grant them access into a non-public space.
So what about the JBS Fieldhouse, if that's rented to a party, would that be non-public?
That is from our conversations, that really was in a gray area. It would probably generally be considered public space, even though it's rented. Now, one of our major concerns, or one of my concerns, was Memorial Auditorium. Currently, we have a contract with the school district. They have access to it for 65 days a year. The public, the lobby is a public space, but the public hours of the lobby are generally during the week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 1 p.m. for the box office. If you had a performance going on, the seating area could be interpreted as public space. However, if there is, with the school events, there are many rehearsals that go on later in the afternoon or evening. That would be considered non-public space and would not have to grant access unless they had a judicial warrant to enter that space.
So from a liability standpoint, if the field house is rented out to a group or whatever, say, on Sundays for those practices, if something happens, are we liable as a city?
We would, in a situation like that, I think without a judicial warrant, we would question their need to enter into what may be considered a non-public space. Is the auditorium and the field house are, I think, if you want to join in, the attorney pretty much assumed that they would be considered public space, the seating area, the recreation area, the field house, and so we may not be able to refuse access into those spaces. But
And the ice arena,
same thing, would be the same situation.
But they would still need a warrant?
Not necessarily.
Of some
Not-
nature?
They would need a warrant to go into what's considered non-public space. As we just talked, the ice arena, the field house, and the auditorium, in our attorney's opinion, would be considered public space, so that they could go in there. And we went through the difference between a judicial warrant as opposed to administrative warrant. And he actually sent us examples so you could easily recognize what a judicial warrant looks like. That's what has the legal authorization. An administrative warrant does not necessarily
As
have
a judge's signature, yeah, the judicial.
so even if they present a judicial warrant to one of our department heads, they have to first run that by you and an attorney, correct? To make sure it's legal.
Yes.
Is there a concern about time constraints if something like that would happen? Like, here's a judicial warrant, we are authorized to come in, wait a minute, I gotta call our attorney, can't get a hold of our attorney.
I would hope that there would be a cooperative nature to that discussion so that,
Well, he provided his partner and another
Yeah.
person for us to
that-
reach out to all three of them if
Mhm.
one of them wasn't available.
I had a question, just clarification probably. It's on number 2, question number 2. Does the city have to provide immigration status data to federal authorities? It says, they have requested immigration status, yes. So how would we know the status of their?
Well, yeah, and that's, the only thing we would have any knowledge of is our own employees. They're the only ones that we have any type of documentation on. We have no documentation on any of the residents outside
So
of,
just our employees.
yeah.
So the average citizen in town,
We wouldn't have any idea, no idea what they're,
because of the last statement says, Minnesota state driver's license law prohibits, dissemination of information.
yeah. So,
It kind of contradicted, but when you say just, the only ones we would have would be city employees.
right,
We wouldn't have them on the general.
yeah, we have, right,
Okay.
And this is a new policy, right?
yes.
Not replacing anything?
No, this is brand new, not replacing a previous policy.
And do we know, does the county have a similar?
I don't.
policy? I know
I
the
don't.
school district does, I think.
I'm sorry?
The school district does, I believe,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
or has a policy in place.
I know, talking to some of the school officials, they have indicated that they have to follow their, again, the legal requirements,
Yeah.
that proper warrants would be necessary for any action to take place inside a school building, as I understand their policies.
Would our, would we have similar handling of any situation in relating or with any federal law enforcement under the similar guidelines, regardless whether it involved immigration issues or not?
Yes, we would, and as a matter of fact, I was gonna bring this up later, but we had a, with the heightened awareness or heightened anxiety that is out there today, we did have a law enforcement action that was taking place on a drug investigation, which I'm told was very successful. We were working with the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, so we had federal law enforcement working side by side with our local police officers and investigators that conducted a drug enforcement activity earlier today. And unfortunately, anytime there's any type of noticeable police activities, it is raises the concern or alarm that it's being conducted by immigration. And then on top of that, we have a large use of force training class going on at Minnesota West, which had not only Worthington law enforcement, but a number of neighboring law enforcement. So there was a lot of law enforcement vehicles in town today that
That's awesome.
raised concerns, but none of it was immigration related. It was all training or our own law enforcement actions. But, so, yeah, under state statute, the Worthington Police Department has no authority and is forbid from any immigration or questioning of anyone's legal status. So if we do a traffic stop, there is no questioning as to, you know, what is your status as a living here. Now, if they are arrested and booked into jail, that turns over to Nobles County, and then there may be investigations as to their status. But as local police officers, we have no authority to question anyone and their immigration or legal residence status.
I think it's been a long held policy or tradition or whatever that if our police department happens to arrest someone, through the investigation, there are warrants out there for that person's arrest, they're turned over.
Yeah, then once they're booked, they are then under the custody of the Nobles County and Nobles County Sheriff's Office and the jail. And at that point, our involvement at that point would be limited to evidence or compiling the case against that individual, but from a legal stance or immigration stance, we have no involvement whatsoever with that at any point.
With the adoption of this new policy, does that put in any kind of, any jeopardy of any funding or otherwise that the city benefits from?
No, this is all based on federal and state statutes. The real benefit of this is that our staff know the laws that, so that we are following all of the laws that are out there, so that we don't overstep our bounds of authority and know where and when or what we may be involved in. I mean, the discussions I've had with our law enforcement, if there would happen to be a larger immigration action, our role primarily would be to ensure public safety and to, there may be protest groups here, and to keep them safe and separated from any law enforcement or immigration people, and keep both any immigration officials and the citizens and the civilians safe and protected.
Steve, sorry.
This basically just gives all the employees at the field house and Memorial Troy Nursery a guideline of what to do if something
Yes.
comes in.
Yes.
Does this become part of the personnel policy, and then like if they don't follow it for some reason, or
I-
disciplinary?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably put that in. We are just, we're starting all over with our personnel policy.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you're right, it would be a good appendix to have in there. If this situation ever arises in the future again. But I think the main point is, we want to make sure we as staff do not make mistakes or overstep what our responsibilities and authority are.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
I will do this next one. Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is to accept a proposal for geotechnical services for the Ice Arena project. Public Works staff has requested a proposal with American Engineering Testing Incorporated to do soil borings for the Ice Arena project. The proposed contract calls for American Testing to perform 6 borings in the new building footprint and 3 borings in the new parking lot areas at the fairgrounds. The proposed cost of these borings will be $12,800. Soil borings are the first step in any design details for the new arena project that need to be done so we can prepare for any possible soil corrections that may be needed on the site. Included as Exhibit 5 is the proposal, and council action is requested to allow Public Works staff to sign the American Engineering Testing Incorporation proposal.
Amy?
Has that area been tested before?
No, not that I'm aware of.
And do we have any concerns that we know
That's,
of?
that's what we're doing to find out.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is our first step before we do any design work or know what we have out there first. So
Okay.
that's why we're coming forward with this, and, I just got the proposal today, and we'd like to get us on the books as soon as possible, because we really can't move forward with a lot of stuff until we know what our soil conditions out there are.
One of the main reasons for doing the geotechno is not that we're concerned about contaminants or anything like that, but to know, in simplest terms, how strong is the soil and what the design of the footings and foundations would have to be to support the building in relation to the condition of the soils.
The good news on that is there's not a lot of weight on the floor, so hopefully.
It would just be really the column footings. The stronger the soil, the smaller the size of the footing you can use.
Motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you. On to committee reports.
Oh, we have
One more. Engineering.
Okay. The second item that I have for engineering is approval for professional service agreement with Short Elliott Hendrickson for Centennial Park Lift Station rehabilitation. During the council meeting on December 22nd, 2025, the council awarded the contract for Centennial Park Lift Station rehabilitation project. Due to the specialized nature of this project, which involves building rehabilitation elements not typically managed by city staff, and the lack of in-house personnel with experience in this type of work, the need for consulting engineering services is planned as part of the project. Exhibit 2 in the agreement with Short Elliott Hendrickson, SCH, to provide construction supervision service for the Centennial Park Lift Station rehabilitation in an amount not to exceed $35,357. Staff recommends approval of the agreements with SCH in Exhibit 2.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion and second. Any further discussion?
I just have one question. Was this, I think maybe it's answered in there, it was planned to have
Yes.
them? Okay. So it's not an additional expense necessarily, it's just on top of what we originally approved?
It is a furtherance of the contract
Uh-huh.
initially, but typically we hold off on acting on the construction administration side of it until we have approved the actual
Okay.
bid and contract.
Okay.
Okay, so we do have a.
It was in the original budget.
Okay.
We do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, on to committee reports. I have nothing.
I have nothing. Well, I do have something. The YMCA gala dinner, or whatever, is March 6th, so put that on my calendars in case you want to attend.
Mike? Chris?
Nothing additional.
Okay. Steve?
I hit on a couple of the items, just I want to add one more. We did receive a purchase agreement today for one of the executive lots in Elmwood Heights, second edition. That's good. I read through it, and Mindy has it on her desk. It's very promising that they awarded us one of the expensive lots.
Was this off the candles?
Yeah.
Can you remind me, is from the time they purchase a lot out there, do they have a set time when they have to start
No,
break ground or anything?
no, we did not, because there was, one of the lots out there, the first one we sold, it's been there for 2 years. They just wanted it, and they plan to build one day.
Okay.
I think this one is that if everything goes through, construction will proceed in a timely manner.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Mr. Parrish.
Well,